One of the, I think, most trying times is when I was on a combat mission and my brother was my wingman. We're flying out to get a diplomat, and this is a diplomat that we don't even know. We fly out to where this diplomat's supposed to be being attacked, and we get out there within seconds of being overhead. We're only 50 feet, 75 feet above the ground. I hear over the radio, my brother says, "I'm hit, I'm going back." I had my weapon out the door, so I had my co-pilots flying. I said, "Hey, come back around, let's find him." So he whipped that little bird around. Within a second, I don't see my brother. I don't hear any more radio calls from him. So I'm calling, as we're getting shot, I'm calling and asking, "Hey, where are you?" No calls, no return calls whatsoever. So I'm flying up and down the street. I called for 20 minutes. I'm flying back and forth, and all of a sudden we get shot down. And realized that the worst thought in my mind was, I know he got shot down. I didn't want to believe it, but I believe he got shot down. So we're going down. Basically, we're putting the aircraft down. We got shot up so bad, we're putting the aircraft down because it's going to come out of the sky. So we land about a block away from where you got shot up.
Anything on the left side?
So as I walked around the aircraft, you can see all the bullet holes in the aircraft, and I got to the other side where the pilot is. On that side, the blade finally stopped, and I looked up, and I thought, we're done, because it had huge basketball-sized holes in the blades, and exactly where one of the blades mounted to the hub of the aircraft, it had a big hole in it, so I knew it was about to come off. Well, at that time, I hear a bunch of noise, and I look off to my east. My door gunners are there getting ready to start shooting. We had about 150 to 200 insurgents running at us, shooting. And I looked up, I thought, well, these guys on the rooftop should be helping us. Well, what they were doing, they were pointing us out to the bad guys. So I told the pilot, I said, "Hey, crank it up, we'll do what we can." I told the door gunners, get in. As I was climbing in, the aircraft was winding up, was bouncing because the blades were about to come off. And I just said a silent prayer as we were taking off. I said, just please get us over this one-story building, hit the river. I told them, when you hit that river, fly along the river. So if we come apart, we land in the water. We don't land in the street and the buildings and all that. So as we came up, the aircraft bouncing and vibrating, and cleared the building, got to the river. So as I was coming in, I told the guys at the LZ, I'm coming in, it's emergency. I need 3 blades put on this aircraft real quick. I got out of the aircraft in less than 10 minutes. I put 3 new blades on. I was talking to the embassy, going back out. I got a UAV overhead during that time frame, and I got some Apaches coming in. And I got back out there and realized that my brother was shot down. We got radio calls, got a central area where it was, so I flew around.
He's shooting up there.
I told the pilot, put me down in the street, the co-pilot, put me down in the street. I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna go find my brother and the other guys. And he said, "Boss, we can't do that. People are getting shot here." I said, "Put me down in the street now." So he flew in and landed, and as I was getting out, before I disconnected my microphone, I grabbed my weapon. I said, "You guys leave, go back to the green zone. I'll find my own way back." He goes, "We're not leaving you." I said, "Leave." He said, "We're not leaving." As I stepped out, there was a big explosion off to my left. One of the bad guys up in the burned out building, he shot an RPG, a rocket launcher, shot it, and it hit right beside us, and it blew up and engulfed the helicopter in a big cloud of dust and shrapnel. A cloud, a white cloudish, just formed in front of my face as I was getting ready to walk, and it was my wife's face. I couldn't hear nothing, but I could see her mouth saying, "I love you." But I knew, and I really thought, down deep in my heart, that I was never coming back.
targets, bro.
So I got down, walking down the street as they're shooting next to me, or trying to shoot me. I got up to this Army tank, and there's guys laying behind it, shooting at the bad guys. And I reached down and tapped this guy in the head. He looked up at me, he was a major. And he said, "Sir, what are you doing here?" I said, "Where's those bodies?" He said, "Sir, you gotta go." I said, "Where are the bodies?" He says, "They're back in the alley. We got them in body bags." And so I turned around and walked off to the alley. And there was 4 body bags laying. I told my door gunner, "You check these 2 bodies, I'm gonna check the 2 close bodies." Well, I zipped this first body, and it was that friend of mine, pilot, and from the 160th. And I thought, well, then, at that time, I knew that these were my guys, and one of these was my brother. And I had a big lump in my stomach, in my throat, and I walked over to the next bag, and I unzipped it, and I was kneeling there, and I unzipped it, and my brother was laying in the bag. His face was facing me because I'm kneeling next to him. His face was facing me. So then I knew. And I started zipping him back up, and I got back over to the head, so when his body's laying out this way, and his head was facing that direction, so I grabbed his head, and I set it upright, and I kissed him on the forehead, and I said, "I'm sorry." Zipped it up, walked back over to the tank, and said, "Get those bodies in here and get them into the green zone now." He says, "I will. You got to get out of here." So I walked back to the helicopter and flew back to the green zone.
Let's go. We're gonna go?